I'm Elliot Mark. Welcome to turning college recruitment chaos and confusion into clarity. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. The agencies, the services, these are the people, these are the companies, the juggernauts like the conglomerates, the monopolies that have told you the wrong information and have changed the entire youth landscape, like the narrative that's out there. And it says without them, your son or daughter has no chance of getting to the next level. And it's just not true. I will break down exactly why as we go through. But what you need to remember is that this is a simple process. You need to follow the steps. And we're going to go through the first step today, which is selecting a group of target schools. There's only going to be a select amount of schools that are right for you in 4 different capacities. So as we go throughout this presentation, we break the overall process down into 5 different modules, the ones you see here, and then we have chapters or subdivisions within each module. And for this first phase, this first module, selecting a group of target schools, the 4 filters are going to be the academics, the social life, the environment, and then the athletics. And then in the middle there, you have the feel. So what's the feel? Well, when I was visiting Lehigh, I had like this gut intuition, like sort of butterflies in my stomach when I was on that campus, when I was interacting with the team. And it's really interesting, but you as a family will have that experience when it's the right school for your son or your daughter or for you. That's how I picked it. I looked at these 4 filters. I made the best, most educated decision for myself. And then I listened to whatever that is, right? That gut intuition, and I went for it. How do you go about narrowing down colleges and universities? Do you have a general interest or know exactly what you want to study? If I say psychology, once again, I'm just going to narrow down that playing field. Are you looking for a liberal arts degree, maybe more specific like MIT? But then you also have to think of, is that going to be too much of a time-intensive major to really balance your overall experience? When you step to the next level, whether that's academically, athletically, in work, you see it, right? You take on more responsibility. And then what needs to happen is balance. You need to find that immediately. So what's next? Social life. Do you want to be on a big time campus? Do you want to be a big fish in a small pond? Do you want to be a smaller fish in a big pond? I don't know. But these are the questions that you need to ask yourself, that your ego needs to help you answer. I've seen student athletes that really struggled with responsibility have incredible transformations when they went to a school across the country. It's because mom and dad weren't there as the safety net anymore. So parents, when you're supporting, when you're guiding your son and daughter through this process, you really need to step back and you need to look at it through the lens or perspective of a life coach or a transformational coach and not a parent. You have to do your best to take the emotions out of the equation as best as you possibly can. Environment. I tell a story all the time when I'm speaking to parents, student athletes, about where you want to be or where you're actually acclimated to or used to playing in the parts of the country. I recruited from all over the world. So I was the assistant coach at Florida Atlantic University, and we had predominantly kids from overseas. We had to stop, literally, just say no more players from Scandinavian countries, from Iceland, Norway, Sweden, because when they came into South Florida, they had no idea what humidity was, pretty much, right? If they hadn't traveled outside their country, and it took them a month or 2 to acclimate. And when you're playing at the top level of Division I soccer, you don't have that type of time to regulate your body. It's just it took too long when we could recruit kids who are used to playing in that thick air day in and day out. And then lastly, athletics. And we always look at athletics last because, like I said earlier, transferring, not being in the right environment athletically and having and wanting to move schools is going to cause a tremendous amount of agony, internal turmoil for the student athlete. But what are some of these questions you need to ask related to athletics? Do you want to have the ability to contribute right away? It's a big question, but also realize that many student athletes are not going to have the ability to contribute right away. The game is a lot faster, the men are a lot stronger, they know the system of play. So we need to go into this process understanding we're not as good as we think we are. And you really have to take a look at your ego and ask yourself, am I going to be able to play at that school? Now, after you're done with those 4 filters, you're going to want to have between 7, 8 safety schools, 7 or 8 target schools where you know you could get into, and then 7 or 8 reach schools. So after we've looked at the 4 filters in depth, we have to look at one last set of questions that are very, very important. The most important questions of all. And those are related specifically to our ability as a soccer player and our ego and how those two meet. Now, after you've finished going through the 4 filters and all the questions that are applicable that we just went through, you have a couple of different options. Option 1, you can do all the manual research throughout different websites. There's a ton of them. They are really easy to utilize. However, that process is going to take a long time because you're then looking at all the different universities, what they have to offer, and you have to go one by one through each and every single university. There's another way, and that's with Recruit Tracker, which is our Recruit Fluency's personalized software that is specifically designed to take those questions that we just went through and auto-populate for you all the schools that are relevant. I'm going to show you a 2-minute clip of an overview of what Recruit Tracker does and just how powerful this software is and how it could take your recruitment process to an entire new level. Welcome to Recruit Tracker, custom made for elite high school athletes, designed with one goal in mind, to help you organize and dominate the NCAA recruitment process. For this demonstration, let's say you're a soccer player who wants to compete at a university which meets these criteria. Division 2, a private university. You want this private university to be located in the Mid-East of the United States. You want to major in accounting, and you want a minimum enrollment of 5,000 students. With Recruit Tracker's powerful college search tool, you immediately find these institutions matching this specific criteria. As you can see, the software is equipped with a multitude of relevant search filters which respond in real time. I've always heard great things about Adelphi University, so let's click on Adelphi to get more detail. The college info page has more detail about the school, such as test scores, graduation rates, annual cost, most popular majors, and even similar colleges. If you like what you see, you can easily add them to your favorites at the top right of the page. Great. We've learned more about what Adelphi can offer us academically. However, if we want to get recruited to play soccer there, we need to get in touch with their coaching staff. With Recruit Tracker's coaching search tool, you can easily find coach contact information for every coach on staff. At any given time, there are over 50,000 coaches in our athletics database covering over 30 sports. Now, you want to find Adelphi soccer coaches so you can start the recruiting process with them. The easiest and quickest way to do this is by searching for the institution's name at the top left of the page. The coach info page shows us the contact information for each coach. But if I want to start emailing them, I need to select Start the Process. Many youth athletes, parents, and coaches inexperienced with the recruitment process have a preconceived notion that this process is extremely difficult. The truth is, navigating the recruitment process is quite straightforward, and we make it even simpler when using Recruit Tracker's organizational framework. For example, the process page allows you to run all your recruiting communication with clear visibility and context. Just click the email button, select your coaches, Add a catchy and professional subject line, and even add an attachment if you'd like. Before you send out this email, it's a good idea to have a parent or guardian proofread it. If that person is not available, save this email as a draft. But make sure to set a task to remind yourself to send it out next week. Now, if I go back to the Process tab, you are able to see all the other universities you're getting recruited by. Every college you are engaged with gets their own unified view, so everything stays simple, organized, easy, and in one central hub. Lastly, every player account comes with built-in sports-specific workflows created by college coaches. Workflows are simple to follow and visually intuitive. They take you by the hand and walk you through each step of the recruitment process. I hope you have enjoyed this brief overview of Recruit Tracker. Our mission is to empower 10,000 student athletes and their families in the next 12 months. And we want to accomplish this through E&M learning and video education. To learn more, visit us at our website at mondacademy.com. With Recruit Tracker, you are going to make your life so much easier. But now, you are in a place where you have identified your target schools, your reach schools, and your safety schools. So you have anywhere from 20, 25 schools, 15 schools, whatever it is for you. So now what? Now the next step in the first process, in the first module of selecting a group of target schools, is to identify when these universities, these specific schools that you've identified, have ID camps, when they have clinics, when they have showcases, what showcases might their coaching staff be recruiting at, so that you could get in touch with them and really begin to maximize your awareness and make sure that they know that you are at the top of their list. If they don't know that, there's a huge chance that they're not going to know who you are, that they are going to overlook you easily. First comes the pre-camp email, the pre-showcase email. So 7 days prior to the event that you're going to, whether it's a showcase, an ID camp, a clinic, it doesn't matter. You reach out to that coaching staff with an email, and the email is straightforward. We have 55 pre-written email templates that you could go to recruitfluency.com and pick up for free. So utilize these templates that we already created for you. Save yourself a ton of time, a huge headache, and make sure that you're including all the relevant information that's on those email templates. Send that out to the entire coaching staff. However, you need to email them individually and slightly manipulate each email so that it's not a carbon copy of the one that's going to the assistant coach and the head coach. Wait a couple of days. If you do not hear back, pick up the phone. I know for so many of us, this is overwhelming, it's scary, it's something you do not want to do. But let me tell you this, when I was a coach at Florida Atlantic, when I was head of recruitment, I received anywhere from 200 to 400 emails a week, a day sometimes, in heavy traffic seasons. And there was no way that I could get back or even look at every single email that came across my mail server. There's no way possible. Step 3, introduce yourself throughout the camp. So if that means you have an opportunity when you're checking in, fantastic. It doesn't have to be an over dramatized, entrance or hello. We're not brown nosing. We just want them to put a face to a name. Hey Coach X, I'm Elliot. I'm a center back. I actually left a message the other day. I also sent you an email. If you get a chance, feel free to take a look at that, but I'd really love to get your feedback at the end of camp to see whether or not I'm a potential prospect for your program. Simple as that. So what do we do after the camp? Just like you've probably always been taught, when someone sends you a present, when someone does something nice for you, you follow up with a thank you. Thank you for your time. I had an incredible experience at Camp X. I really look forward to getting your feedback, as I would love to really, put your university at the top of my list. It's super important that you follow up. If you do not hear back, once again, you follow up with a phone call. The term that I've always used when helping student athletes throughout this process, when speaking to parents, it's professionally persistent. That's exactly how you need to be. You do not need to be a nuisance. You do not need to get carried away, but you need to be professionally persistent all the way until you have signed with an athletic program.